The Great Recession occurred in 2007 and continued on for several years. This event was declared to be the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. During that time, families and businesses across the United States suffered immensely because of banker greed and lack of regulation, resulting in terrible consequences. There were several causes of the Great Recession that are important to understanding the consequences. When Franklin Roosevelt was president, he enacted the Glass-Steagall Act. It placed limitations on bank expenditures in terms of stocks. Along with these regulations were housing market requirements that required people to put substantial payments down on mortgages and prove that they had the means to pay for each of the payments. Over time, these regulations began to loosen. Banks gave mortgages to people without the financial means to protect them. There was a common belief that once mortgages were paid off, the homeowners could turn around and sell them for a profit because the housing market was so rapidly increasing. However, this increase was not financially backed because people were not paying their mortgages on time, and the banks did not have the funds to pay for every single unsteady mortgage they sold. Eventually, this bubble of the housing market, which seemed economically sound, burst, and the consequences were terrible. Thousands of families were left with mortgages that they were unable to pay off, and houses began to drastically lose their value. Foreclosure numbers skyrocketed as people were faced with the grim reality of being unable to pay off their homes. In a domino effect, the homes that were in the surrounding areas also became less valuable. The government became incredibly entangled in this as they took on much of the debt and ended up financing 9 out of 10 loans on houses. They also granted billions of dollars to banks in order to help finance them through the Troubled Asset Relief Program legislation. However, because the banks were so far in debt because of their own mistakes, the economy struggled to improve. The GDP plummeted and unemployment rates skyrocketed as businesses could not receive the funds they needed from the banks. This event also resulted in some of the largest government expenditures as trillions of dollars went towards helping banks to recover from the mistakes of their own greed and irresponsibility.